Alright, y'all, look, check this out. Hey, look, they saying these are disturbing cold cases that were recently solved. Hey, y'all know it's Halloween. It's finna get creepy, so look, we might as well go ahead and react to this. We finna see what's going on with this.
Mary Chalace. On February 15th, 1974, a horrifying discovery was made in Springbrook, Wisconsin. The body of 25-year-old Mary Chalace from Minneapolis was found, sparking a case that would go unsolved for 5 decades. Mary, who was a student, had been hitchhiking from Minneapolis to Chicago. In the 1970s, hitchhiking was a common way young people would get around. So on February 15th, Mary would begin her journey, not knowing that on the same day, her journey and life would be cut short. A little over 1 hour.
I ain't gonna lie, hitchhiking. I ain't gonna lie, it's 2025. Just the thought of somebody standing on the side of the road doing this shit right here, trying to get a ride, that sound crazy. That's dangerous.
Her life, using a blade multiple times. Not much evidence was found at the crime scene, other than this cap, which presumably belonged to the killer. Mary's body was found by a local man named Denny Anderson. Denny said that a few hours prior he had seen what appeared to be 2 people fighting, but he thought nothing of it and continued driving. But when he was driving back home past the same location, he saw Mary's body in the snow. Denny said the man she had been seen with had been driving a gold-colored car. Based on Denny's description, this sketch of the suspect was circulated. Police issued a nationwide alert, publishing Mary's photos and the sketch of the suspect. But the case went cold for the next 50 years. In 2023, the case would take a dramatic turn. Police decided to examine hairs from the cap and use forensic genetic genealogy. But this is where investigators would encounter a big challenge. The suspect's DNA led them to a family tree, but the suspect did not fit into it in an obvious way, leading police to believe the suspect might have been adopted, making things even more complex. Soon though, police identified a potential lead, a man named John Miller.
Bruh. Whoop de doo. Finish him.
Bro, this man is... Oh, let's go back and look at this picture real quick. Hold on. We gotta see this again. Where is that damn picture?
Soon though, police identified a potential lead, a man named John...
Oh my gosh.
Bruh.
Oh my. Bruh, this dude is 85 years old. Nah, that's crazy, bruh. Now, I'm just looking at this picture like this. Yeah, he look... Ugh.
Police determined he may have been adopted from the family identified by the DNA. John also had a daughter, so police went to interview the daughter and her mother. Surprisingly, the daughter agreed to give police her genetic profile, leading investigators to a terrifying discovery. The hair on the cap did in fact belong to John Miller. On November 7th, 2024, investigators went to John Miller's house in order to question him about Mary. At first, John denied any knowledge of the crime, but when he was shown the DNA evidence, his demeanor completely changed. He said he had picked up Mary when she was hitchhiking, and when she was in his car had tried to flirt with her. But when Mary rejected him, he ended her life using a blade. John even admitted
nobody try to flirt with your old dad. Come on, bro. Nobody tried to flirt with you.
On March 27th, 2025, John Miller was sentenced to life in prison for ending Mary Chalace's life 50 years.
Come on, bro. Life in prison. Life in prison. This dude is 85 years old and y'all give him life in prison. I might as well just give him the death penalty. Just go ahead and end it right there. Like, this dude is already 85. It ain't like he just got 50, 60, 70 more years to live. Like, come on.
John is now 85 years old, meaning that while justice did take a long time, he will spend his final days behind bars, having to think about the evil crime he committed all those decades ago. Danielle Houchins. It was the morning of September 21st, 1996. 15-year-old Danielle Houchins left her house at around 11 a.m. She was angry as she'd had an argument with her family that morning. To calm down, she drove her truck to Cameron Bridge, a peaceful hiking and fishing area near to where she lived in Montana. Hours passed and Danielle did not return home. Her family began to get worried, so went out looking for her. Because Danielle would go there often, the first place they looked was Cameron Bridge. But when her family arrived, they would make a disturbing discovery. Danielle's truck was in the parking lot, unlocked and empty, and a few feet away her car keys lay on the ground. It was clear something was seriously wrong. For 2 frantic hours her family searched for her, yelling and screaming her name. But when this proved to be hopeless, they decided to call the police. At 5 p.m. police arrived on scene, as did a search and rescue team. But it was getting dark, making the search increasingly difficult and dangerous, mainly due to the water and marshes in the area. Because of this, officials officials were forced to suspend the search until morning, but two brothers who lived nearby and knew the area well ignored this, deciding to keep searching through the night. And after about 45 minutes of searching, they made a discovery that would scar them for life. In the marshes, they found Danielle's lifeless body. The brothers said it was clear that she had been subject to a brutal attack and had been dragged and hidden in this spot. An examination also confirmed she had been violated before she passed away. Her body was sent to the Montana State Crime Lab, where DNA that did not belong to Danielle was found, but a state medical examiner said that she had drowned, and listed the manner of death as undetermined, a move that was later criticized heavily, as Danielle's family were led to believe her passing could have been an accident. This caused a massive amount of tension between the family and the police, with police even making public statements, saying that it could have been an accidental drowning. One sheriff named Cindy Botek said that crucial evidence was ignored. She attempted to reinvestigate.
But nah, y'all can't just, how y'all gonna say that it was an accident? And y'all literally just said that y'all did DNA testing and found somebody else's DNA on her body, basically. Like, they don't even make sense right there.
2006, but was stonewalled by her superiors. In August of 2023, nearly 27 years after Danielle's death, Sheriff Dan Springer changed the official manner of death from undetermined to homicide. This was based on a re-examination of the evidence by private investigator Tom Elfmont. A year later, in 2024, the case would have a major breakthrough. 4 arm hairs that had been found at the crime scene were reanalyzed, using technology that did not exist decades back. After examining...
Look, this right here, I'm finna stop pausing the video, but this right here shows you, just because you do a crime, you might do a crime today and get away with it. But bruh, they might come out with something new the next year or the year after that, or who knows, 5-10 years later. You know, technology gonna always advance. Like, just because you got away with it today, that don't mean it's over with. Like, you can always still get caught. So that's the crazy thing about it.
Hairs, a DNA profile was obtained. This was then entered into the FBI's DNA database, which contains DNA profiles from criminals and crime scenes all over the USA. However, the search showed no matches, meaning the perpetrator's DNA was not in the FBI's system. Undeterred by this, the investigators tried a new approach: forensic genetic genealogy. You see, if you have DNA from a crime scene, you can match it to a relative, if that relative's DNA is already on the FBI's database. And to investigate a surprise, this worked, allowing them to narrow their search down to a 55-year-old man, Paul Hutchinson from Dillon, Montana. On July 23, 2024, investigators went to Paul's home. Their goal was to question Paul, but investigators were not prepared for what would happen during the interview. Paul acted extremely nervously, sweating.
Yeah, he looked shocked. Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie, I knew it from the beginning. He looked like he did it. He looked shocked.
Finish him.
Go ahead and lock his ass up. He did it.
And even chewing his hand. But the most revealing moment came when Paul was shown a photo of Danielle. Upon seeing the photo, Paul slumped in his chair and showed serious discomfort. While this wasn't evidence, it did catch investigators' attention. After the interview, the investigators left Paul's home, but they could never imagine what would happen next. Around 10 hours after the interview, Paul would call the police. He sounded distressed and said he needed help, but before giving any information, abruptly ended the call. When police showed up to Paul's house, they found his body on the side of the road. He had a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This was seen by investigators as an admission of guilt. Police later confirmed that the arm hairs found at Danielle's crime scene were a 100% match to Paul's DNA, meaning that Paul Hutchinson likely realized
this nigga went out like a bitch. Pure bitch. Come on, bro. You can't do that. Come on, bro. You gonna kill this little girl and then you gonna... Come on. Nah.
After believing for nearly 3 decades that he'd gotten away with ending Danielle's life. Abby and Libby.
Abby and Libby.
13th, 2017 in Delphi, Indiana. 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German decided to go on a hike near Monon High Bridge. Their parents were skeptical at first, thinking it may be dangerous to allow their kids to hike in this area by themselves. But Abby and Libby were persuasive, so were eventually dropped off near the bridge.
It don't matter. Ain't no way, bro. If I got 2 kids, it don't matter, bro. 13, 14-year-old especially. 2 little girls, bro. Come on, nah. Like, why are these little girls going on hikes by themselves? 13 and 14. I don't give a damn if my kids was 17, 18. Y'all still not going by yourself. I'm finna at least be somewhere close by, you know, watching, so I can make sure I can protect y'all.
around 1 p.m. 1 hour into the hike, Libby posted this photo to Snapchat, showing Abby walking on a bridge. 1 hour later, at 3 p.m., Libby's father pulled up to the bridge, expecting to pick the girls up, as they had agreed to meet at that time and place. But Abby and Libby never showed up. Anxious, Libby's father called the police. A search party was formed, but the following day, a gruesome discovery would be made, with the girls' bodies being found near the Monon High Bridge. Near the girls, Libby's cell phone would also be found, and what investigators found on it shook them to their core. Libby had secretly recorded this video of the man who would moments later take Libby and Abby's lives.
See, this is the path.
Nah, see, hey, stuff like this is crazy. We got really sick weirdos in this world like this. He talking about guys.
You can hear the girls nervously whispering if the man is still there. You can then hear footsteps before the voice of their killer. Abby and Libby were ordered down the hill at gunpoint before both of their lives were ended. Police quickly released images of this man. Delphi was a small town of less than 3,000 people, so police were confident someone would come forward, but no one ever did. Despite his image and voice being caught on camera,
probably one of them weirdos that live somewhere in the middle of nowhere. He probably just lived like in the woods and kill fucking hunt deer and, you know, kill rabbits and eat squirrels and shit. That's probably the way he
seemed to know who this man was.
Get caught.
The case would go cold for years. That was until September 2022. Investigators received a tip about a man named Richard Allen. 1 month later, Richard was taken into custody, but there was no actual evidence Richard had done the crime. He lived less than 5 minutes from the Monon High Bridge, living there with his wife and daughter. In December of 2021, Richard posted a photo of himself to Facebook, smiling in front of a police sketch of the suspect, with the photo apparently being taken in his home. At the crime scene, police had found an unspent .40 caliber round. It was determined the round had been put into a 6-hour P226, a firearm owned by Richard Allen. When police asked him about this, he said he never let anyone use or borrow his firearms. Richard had been working at a CVS pharmacy. When the girls had gone missing, Libby's grandmother had gone to that very CVS in order to print missing persons posters of the girls, and Richard did not charge Libby's grandmother for the printing, which is incredibly sinister given what we now know.
How did a bullet from your gun get out there?
I don't know.
Because they said it came from our gun.
I know that's what they're saying.
So it seemed like he killed those little girls, and then he was he was working at a CVS pharmacy, and the grandmama, she comes in the store to you know, basically print out a missing photo sign of her grandkids, and this fucking maniac, weirdo, freaky old man, he basically just let her do it for free. That's weird.
Believe me, that's what they're telling me.
But how did it get there?
I don't know.
Richard pled not guilty, but Richard had made various incriminating statements. On December 20th, 2024,
he looks
Richard
scared.
Allen was sentenced to 130 years in prison.
No,
Nearly
130
7
is
years
crazy.
after stealing the lives of these 2 young girls. Long Island Serial Killer. The
That's
Long
crazy.
Island Serial Killer is a name given to the man responsible for the Long Island murders. It's believed the serial killer has taken around 11 people's lives, with the majority of them being young
Was he
women.
Michael
The
Myers?
killer was known to dump the bodies along the Ocean Parkway. Police began investigating in May of 2010. A 24-year-old woman named Shannon Gilbert had called 911. She was fleeing the area after a meetup with a man had gone wrong. She made a call to 911, saying that someone was after her, and that they were trying to kill her, but she did not say her exact location. A police unit and a dog went to the area. Shannon was not found, but instead, police would make an even more disturbing discovery. 4 separate women's bodies were found. A few months later, in December, Shannon's body was found, and in March of 2011, another woman's body was found. The month after that, the remains of an unidentified girl, an unidentified Asian male, and a woman named Valerie Mack were also found.
What is
all
wrong
in the
with this
same
dude?
general area. Soon after, police found 2 more bodies. Police knew they had a serial killer on their hands, but for over a decade, the case
Fucking
went
Michael
cold.
Myers?
That was until 2022. Thanks to new technology, the case was reopened. Police re-examined cell phone data and found the killer had used burner phones to contact the victims. These burner phones led police to a man named Rex Heuermann, an unlikely suspect. He was a well-respected married father, working as an architect in New York. In July of 2023, he was indicted and
Donald
arrested.
Trump, ain't it?
Investigators examined Rex's cell phones and found he was pinged near 3 of the victims.
Uh-oh.
Police also found an uneaten pizza crust in Rex's trash, and using this, linked his DNA to one of the victims. Police also found numerous burner phones owned by Rex. Disturbingly, one of those burner phones belonged to one of the victims, which Rex even used to contact the victim's family, saying, "I killed her." As of October 2025, Rex is being held at Riverhead Correctional Facility in New York. No trial date has been set, but it could begin in 2026. It really
Hey, this dude is a
unsettling
real
to know
life
that
Michael Myers. He look like he about probably like 6'4", 6'5", and he's just over here just manslaughtering and killing kids and women and men, Asian men. Like, come on, bro.
Successful family man
What is
could
he
actually
doing?
be a modern-day serial killer hiding in plain sight. Comment below which of these cold cases was the most shocking.
And the crazy thing is, he didn't even look like a killer. He looked like a regular businessman, but the whole time he's a sick asshole.
Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, this is crazy.